Hurry up!
Hey everyone, you're watching Time Attack,
the only video game show on the internet.
And today we have just 15 minutes to talk about Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. So, Kyle, Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, well, there's a kind of a new game coming out.
Yeah,
so we're talking about Donkey Kong Country, the whole trilogy, but just the first game today.
Just Super Nintendo.
So this was a landmark title for the Super Nintendo. It was, if not the first, it was definitely an early game to employ pre-rendered sprites.
Yeah.
So they create the characters in 3D and then made them into 2D sprites later on. It was a showcase for what the Super Nintendo could do. Shocked the world. Now people say it's dated.
Now, this came out really early in the Super Nintendo lifespan?
I think it was 94.
Yeah, and when did the Super Nintendo come out? If you
92, remember? I think. So it was
2 years
mid-life.
later.
It kind of extended the life, I think, because people are like, oh, this is kind of this is old technology. Then this comes along, and it's like, holy crap, this is what Super Nintendo can do.
Yeah.
It kind of fooled people, right?
Well, yeah, that VHS that came with it, you're going to see behind the scenes of how this thing works and all this extra stuff. I remember there was so much hype over it.
Yeah, they made it seem like they're kind of revealing top secret government mysteries here. Yeah.
I remember playing this at one of my cousin's houses and just playing it to death. You know, that's all we did was play this game.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of people argue, the graphics, they haven't aged as good as say like Yoshi's Island or Super Metroid. What they don't mention is the gameplay is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it plays. Maybe, obviously, this is not a speedrunner thing, but I was impressed with myself. It's like, I beat this in an hour and 20 minutes. And I just
it is the first one,
this.
Especially, is pretty short.
Oh, yeah. You can just destroy this game. It's fun.
The longevity comes from, with the first time you play it, you're probably dying a lot. And then
trial and error.
The secrets.
Yes.
Finding all the secrets takes time, which I don't think I've even ever done in the first game, to be honest.
I know. I wasn't really interested because it didn't really record it, other than just the percentage. In the
it doesn't give you anything.
Yeah, it's just unless Cranky Kong might say something.
I think there's slightly alternate dialogue.
You did okay.
Yeah.
Instead of you idiot, I could have did it way faster than you or something.
But what this game does, what was really cool with this game is it'd be really easy just to make like another Mario game, but it's same genre, it plays completely different. Like Rare basically created almost a new kind of platformer, right? You have it's all about momentum.
Yeah.
And it's very floaty, whereas Mario was like tighter. So it's very interesting.
One thing I really appreciate about this game is there's barely anything in the view other than the background and in Donkey Kong. There is no like points showing or lives will pop up after you die, but it's very like you're looking at, it's immersive.
I believe that might have been the intention. For sure. Because like you said, the HUD elements, they pop in when you get things, but then they're right out of there again.
Yeah, and it's very, it's very a lot of ambiance. Like you're in the jungle, like the music, David Wise, that a big part of what made this game so special was the music, and I think with the environments, it's just.
Stop the clock. We need a few seconds to talk about today's sponsor. Gallisto is the trusted marketplace for collectors. It doesn't matter if it's video games, action figures, comics, or cards. If it's collectible, you'll find it on Gallisto. Available through the App Store or Google Play, Gallisto is the perfect tool for both buyers and sellers. Users and listings are always verified, and the service offers some of the lowest selling fees on the market. Not only that, you can use the app to scan collectibles you own or things you're interested in buying. It's a marketplace and an online collection rolled into one. Talk about handy. But hey, don't take my word for it. Head over to Gallisto.com and see for yourself.
A big part of what made this game so special was the music, and I think with the environments, it's just you can just sit there. Like where's that level where there's like a bit of sunset and there's all those Kongs that are throwing the barrels.
Yeah, Mankey Kong.
Yeah, Mankey Kong. Like that one in particular, it's just very picturesque.
So many levels. Like that's the thing is like I think this game lives, like, as the kids say, rent free in my mind, just because of like the experience. It feels like it's alive even when you're not there, right? Like we're talking elsewhere, Donkey Kong Jungle is still buzzing with noises and sun is setting, the snow is falling in the mountains.
Well, it's so charming, you know. Like when you get to the final boss and you see like Donkey Kong Island in the background when you're on King K. Rool's ship, and you just see like it's just this big mountain on this little island, and it's like, oh, DK lives there on this little island somewhere in the world or some other planet or something.
Yeah,
and you just. You know, it's very relaxing, you know, while you're there. The music is very chill and, you know, it's got a lot of vibes.
Well, it also has
very
like
welcoming.
Kind of neat. It's simple, but there's like a little bit of visual storytelling too, how like early on you find like these mining operations, right? And then later on you like go into factories as things get almost more like, you see the more of the Kremling's influence. Like the beginning of the jungle is just untamed wilderness. But then you start finding like elements of what they're doing there, right?
Yes.
And then all leads up to that final fight.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, I believe, I bet you the first mines, see now I'm going deep lore here.
Oh boy.
So other people can correct me. The first mines are the monkey mines, right? This world too. And maybe that's like ancient mines. Right. But then later on, the last world is also kind of a mine world. That's maybe the Kremling mines.
Possibly.
With the spiky diggers.
I don't know. The first thing that came to my mind was like something that happened here before, and then DK just happened to live there. Maybe the Kremlings took over as well. Like it's sort of like humans might have been there, and then nature just kind of took over.
Well, I think they're definitely invading because, like, it's all like nature. But then, like, the Kremlings bring factories.
Yeah.
And when you play the second game, spoiler alert, you go to their island.
Yeah.
And it is like it has like more development, you know.
Yes.
Of course, then it's all pirates, so almost all bets are off. Let's not overthink it.
No. Yeah, it's obviously, I don't know if it's too in depth about the story. It's just about the experience, how it feels, how it looks. It's got a very distinct identity.
Yes.
And it really stands out.
And another cool thing, okay, so again, as not, like, obviously Mario is the most obvious point of comparison. Mario rides Yoshi, Donkey Kong gets animal buddies.
Yeah.
So you got Rambi the Rhino, Unguard the Swordfish, and the other ones no one cares about. Well, Winky's okay.
Oh, the ostrich.
Yeah, but the ostrich I actively avoid. Unless I'm going for secrets, I just leave it there.
Well, I always expect, like, when I get it, it's like, I'm going to ride this for a while, but at some point, this thing's gone.
Well, the ostrich, if you hit something,
and the frog.
you get thrown. Oh, that's just a Winky. Winky's okay, yeah.
Winky's okay.
Winky got improved in the second game. We'll get to that later. But, like, Winky's hitbox is, like, kind of hard to predict.
Yeah,
He's huge. But then sometimes you get hit anyway.
But I find, like, the animals are just, like, really for fun. Like, it's not too much, like, they're meant there for, like, when you get into number 2, it's very, like, mechanically involved in the level design, and like I feel like with Rambi it's like, it's just for fun.
Levels
like,
maybe are more built around them in the second game and their abilities.
Here it's just more like you can do it if you want, but you don't have to though.
Usually it's to get to a secret, like Rambi can burst open walls, Espresso can reach kind of distant areas.
But on Garde, like now that seems to, like, it's almost essential in those water levels. I feel way more comfortable with him than I do just DK or Diddy. Just
it makes it a little easier. That's the other thing too. Okay, so
navigation.
I almost jumped the gun here. You got, in Mario you play as Mario. In this you could play as DK and Diddy, and they both play very different.
Yeah.
Like Diddy's all about speed, DK's all about strength, which I'm gonna guess most people prefer playing as Diddy.
Well, if you've played it and had experience, then you know how to compensate for Diddy's weakness. And with speed running and wanting to beat the level faster, that momentum is probably a little bit more appealing. But Donkey Kong can go pretty fast too, especially like with rolling multiple hits. And if you just know where to go, it's you don't have to worry about Crusher as hard.
It's almost like an unseen thing with Donkey Kong, just like his animations. They don't like jive with my, I don't know, they make me uncomfortable. Like, DK's not going to make this jump. I know he's going to, but I don't feel like he's going to.
Both arms up in the air.
Yeah, where it's like, Diddy's more like, he's like a ninja. He's getting in there, right? Like, it might be entirely subconscious. I don't know.
Well, he's heavier, DK, so you're not going to go as far as Diddy.
Yeah. But like, as a kid, this is a pretty important game for me because I got a Super Nintendo. That was my first system. I had Mario World. I had SimCity. I had Tom and Jerry, and then at a yard sale, I bought this on a whim because I had no idea what it was.
Wow.
Man, what a day that was. Just discovering this. And I had so much fun until I got to the minecarts. And then I was like, oh crap. Because that's, when you're a kid, that's tough.
Oh yeah.
That final Kremling especially.
Well, it's incredible. Oh yeah, the last one, right? And the music starts to just settle down, and then, there he is. Or there's a lot of those in the level, like a claptrap right at the end of the level, or a beaver, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's a nasty trick.
Yeah. But now it's so... There's like all those different secrets too, where you can just blast half the level in like a barrel, and I love how they put that in there because it's so rewarding. Because like you wouldn't have found that out like the first time you played it,
or you might have like we're probably both thinking of Snow Barrel Blast.
Oh yeah, accidentally. That one could easily be.
I know where it is now, but for most of my life, I would just kind of go in that level. It's like I'll either do it normal or I'll accidentally land in the barrel because I never memorized where it was. Right?
Yeah.
So now one of us is gonna have to go back and get footage.
Oh no, I did it.
Oh, you already did.
I died a couple times because I'm like, God, it's somewhere here. I gotta just get the right angle, and it looks like I'm gonna die. You actually need to pull back a little bit because if you do it the right angle, you could land in another barrel. So you do it again, you just kind of pull back just a little bit, and you can land in between it, fall down, and get right to the end.
Well, that level's like pretty genuinely tough too. Like I think if you don't cheat.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play the whole way through that. I don't know. It just wouldn't. No thanks.
Yeah.
And if you're catching this, it's raining right now, so...
I was wondering if that was a wagon outside or rain.
No, yeah, we got
See, the jungle ambiance, second level, Ropey Rampage, you're in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
That is a cool thing, how they have like snowstorms. They have...
The environments, the biomes,
the sunset,
it's nice.
The rain. They have, later on, that Misty Mine level. Yeah, but oh man, like you're saying, just think about the music too, like the Kremlin factory music. Oh man,
it's a very immersive game. Like it's, if the music was just kind of mediocre, it might really affect the whole thing. I feel like it's got the whole package because it's a very simple game. It's not like there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that happens. It's very much the same thing every level, just in a different, a different level of challenge, different kind of thrill. But it's so well done in each one that it's very enjoyable.
I do feel because it was such a technical showcase, they might not have put as much time into like fleshing it out. Because you could tell in the sequels they definitely expand a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
This is almost like a first draft, and it's perfectly playable. It doesn't necessarily feel like one, but when you see what comes later, you're like, oh yeah, that one's the simple one.
Let's talk a little bit about the final boss. It's very distinct. Yeah, it's got a lot of style, and it's like. It makes me wonder, like, how did they come up with making these decisions? Because, that music, halfway through, you think you beat them, but actually the credits roll, but it isn't the end. And it's
all the suspicious names.
Yeah, it's very just so memorable.
Oh, yeah. Well, and definitely, too, like when he gets up after the credits, killed me the first time. Because he jumps at you. It's
like, I don't know how many games did that, where it's like, hey, we're going to do something that's, like, unexpected and kind of mess with you a little bit, Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there are some games, but for me, like that was that
was the first time I saw something like that.
What's going on? Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
I'm so confused. Like you're playing Eternal Darkness or something, where it's like there's a fly on the screen. It's like there isn't a fly on the screen though.
So Eternal Darkness owes its success to Donkey Kong Country.
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, its lack of success, rather.
Yeah, a lot of personality. You see that in the credits too.
Yeah.
But also idle animations with DK and Diddy.
The Kongs you meet, their dialogue's very charming. Their animations are cute. The Kremlings are all very expressive.
I remember drawing. Maybe I'll show it in the footage. I have like a little drawing of all the Kongs together.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it got moisture damage, so there's a little bit of mold on it, but it's like a picture of a picture. And I remember drawing and coloring this myself because they were so influential to me. Like I don't know why, but there's something very charming about these characters, and they even made a show about them. So something obviously hit for kids about the Kongs,
Well,
and
less
Donkey
said
Kong.
about the show, the better, maybe.
Well, as a kid, it was great,
Even as a kid, I thought it was cringy.
Oh, it was just cool to see a video game character in a show, Like, same thing with Super Mario Brothers,
same problem. That novelty wears off real fast when they start talking.
But still, it's fun. Like, it's just, as a kid, I wouldn't want to watch it now. Like, maybe, like, just to kind of critique it or have fun. But
you wouldn't binge it.
But my point is that, like, they weren't, there's certain video games where they weren't going to make a cartoon of.
Yeah.
But it showed, like, it was that popular and that, like, people were interested in it, that they could do that.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty big hit when it came. Obviously, it spawned the 2 sequels pretty quick, right?
And Rare put it really on the map. I mean,
Rare was making games before that, but I think that's when people kind of became more aware. Like, this was their first real big hit. It was kind of their big partnership with Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Even Donkey Kong, like before this, he was just the ape that throws barrels, right? And he still is, but now he's got a whole adventure. He's got enemies.
You think of Mario Kart Super, I think for Super Nintendo, which probably came up before Donkey Kong Country.
Might have.
Because you got like Donkey Kong in that white kind of...
that's Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, so Donkey Kong was not even in Donkey Kong.
That's the controversy, though. People say that this Donkey Kong is Donkey Kong Jr. grown up, and then Cranky Kong is the arcade Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing about this.
And then, maybe that's not controversial. The controversy is whether or not Cranky Kong is his dad or his grandpa.
Yeah. Very important.
That's something to put in the comments.
Yeah, you can correct us about all the appropriate theory and what we need to know.
Well, that's the thing, is I do feel a little, like, underprepared. Like, I know so much. I could list every level backwards and forwards. I know so much about the game, but I don't know as much about, like, the development beyond was on that tape.
Oh, like, the other thing I want to mention is just, like, the intro. You know, you got the old school with the monogram or whatever with Cranky Kong.
And he's on the red girders from Donkey Kong Country. Or Donkey Kong the arcade, sorry.
That's right. So then like, you know, you got, you know, Donkey Kong with the jukebox, the boombox. So it kind of, it has it's from a certain time period in history, you know, and
out with the old in with the new, the hip, the cool. Well, even Funky, such like a surfer dude, the California surfer dude.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, that funny, like, rare sense of humor. When I was a kid, I thought, Necky's nuts. That must be an accident. No. So yeah, that's enough. They were known for sneaking that stuff in.
Well, you know what I noticed? All the animals, when you hit them, it's like, ow, ow, ow. Like,
they're all like 30-year-old British dudes making cute animal sound effects.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's it. It's 15 minutes. I don't know if you can stop it that way. New clock, guys.
It stopped. Nope.
It'll stop when it stops.
Stop, you. Stop.
All right, well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's
yeah, well, that's it. Well, 50 minutes are up.
Yeah, so thanks for watching, and stay tuned
for Donkey Kong Country 2
and 3.
And 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make you my sweet and sexy chimp.
Time over!